Oh, praise God. Welcome to From All Angles, the talk show with a difference. Uh, I am your host, Dr. Ingrid Reed, and joining me is one of our co-hosts, Bishop Dr. Everett Ainsley. Unfortunately, Minister Patricia Anson, our other host, is unable to join us today. Joining us, this week is a very, very special guest. And this week, we are looking at our segment entitled Overcoming. Our very special guest is Joy TJ Riley. I am so excited to have her on. Joy is a filmmaker, an author, a producer, a screenwriter. She does it all. And she has a story to tell. She has a story that you need to hear. Maybe you have been there and experienced that. Maybe you are still experiencing it. So at this time, I will introduce to us Joy TJ Riley, our very, very special guest. Joy, welcome. Welcome, Joy.
Hi. Hi. Thank you for having me. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Okay, good to have you, Joy. Uh, we know, Joy, that you have been going through some stuff. And as I said before, this segment is called Overcoming. And in overcoming, you have overcome some stuff, or you're still overcoming some stuff. So just before I kind of get a little into it, first let me ask you, Joy, uh what are some of the things at this point you are actually going through, that you can say, listen, I have overcome, like, something a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, last week, last year. What are some of the things that you can attest to, that you have overcame that thing?
Wow. My whole life has been about overcoming. That's actually my ministry. So to God be the glory. But one of the things that I've been dealing with, actually, it's been ongoing since 2016. So I've seen a lot of people transition
Mhm.
to the afterlife. And since the year of 2016, there's been 51 people, ages 21 to 92. And just in the last 30 days, four people have transitioned, including classmates, family, um, even a former pastor of mine, and um, also a colleague. So that's all in a span of 30 days. But since 2016, it's been 51.
Wow.
So it's been a lot. I have don't always get to process the grief.
Yeah.
Um, the going through the stages of grief. I don't always get to process one before the next one hits,
Wow.
and
Wow.
it can be very difficult.
Very, very difficult. I can just imagine. I can just imagine, Joy. Bishop Ainsley, what would you like to find out from Joy in regards to, this segment that we're dealing with in particularly?
Thank you very much, co-host Dr. Ingrid Reed, and welcome, Joy. It's a pleasure meeting you. Um, when I
Thank you.
listen to your story, it reminds me of a story in the Bible concerning Job, what Job went through, and it wasn't, I believe, a easy or even easy to talk about story. But what I would like to, maybe the first thing I want to ask you, in terms of going through those situation or that period of your life from 2016 until now, what are some of the coping skills that you employ to deal with all these grieving and death?
So there's several things. One, prayer, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, so my prayer life has strengthened greatly as a result. Um, I also sometimes write.
Okay.
One of my family members, unfortunately, uh, his death was as a result of brutality. So what you see in the news was very real for my family.
Yeah.
And I actually started writing, and I wrote a poem, and and shared it as a result. And his name is now etched in one of the Black Lives Matter murals.
Wow.
The case is still ongoing, but in the middle of all that, just not just prayer and writing, but I find water to be of a great solace for
Mm.
me.
Okay.
So whether it's an app that helps you to sleep to the sound of water, or even going to parks that are encased with water. Water is a very soothing and calming piece of nature for me.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Great. But I know you also involved in the film industry. And since the pandemic started 2020 March, um, and you are very busy, what are some of the challenges that you encounter as far as the dealing with the pandemic is concerned?
In terms of the pandemic, we've had to rethink the health and safety of our cast and crew. So we've even employed a registered nurse
Okay.
as part of our cast and crew that travels with us. She will be traveling with us. We are still uh, we're ending the pre-production section and moving into production with one of the projects. But I will say that it causes a process to go slow. So there's always challenges with that. But
Okay, great. So, Joy, you were talking about, how the pandemic affect you as a filmmaker, as a producer and stuff, and it's really hard. It hits everyone literally hard
Mm.
because everyone is going through it. But I just want you to kind of talk a little about in terms of the death, like how you mentioned earlier about the water and prayer and stuff, but can you get a little more in depth as to how you actually blend both the prior life together in terms of you bringing up about the water, and
Mhm.
also just to be clear that the death that you are grieving started from 2016, so it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. Can you just talk a little on that just for us?
yes, sure. So yes, so as a result of I've got classmates, people I've gone to school with that are my age, coworkers, a from a relationship, family. It's just been neighbors. It's been one after another, and at times it's been very difficult. And so at one point I had to take a mental health day, and sometimes I do take them, where I just I can't get any work done that day. That day is focused in prayer and the sounds of water or being around water. I had several days where I literally just sat at the lake
Wow.
all day
Mm.
and prayed,
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
um, just to keep my mind at ease,
Mm.
and just remembering who God is,
Mm-hmm.
and that He is sovereign, and just understanding that you know you have to change how you respond to things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control it, so you have to change how you respond to it.
Wow.
Right. Right.
And so that's been helpful for me. and also having a great set of friends, support system. You know, so having friends who are prayer warriors as well, who can pray with me and for me, for my family, and all who are going through. So it's not just about my prayer life; it's also about the my inner circle,
Okay.
being about that prayer life as well.
Right.
So that helps.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Let me
they say
also
you
ask you
are.
this. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. They say you are the you reflect the five people that you speak with most. Um, so if you're not surrounded by those who are who go to the throne of grace, then it's more likely that you might not be either.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
just
ask
want
a
to follow
question,
up.
Bishop.
Yes, I
Yes.
just want to follow up a question. Because I'm thinking you said from 2016, 51 persons. But out of those 51, are there any that maybe you said hurt you the most? Any personal one that I mean really touched the core of your being? I mean, how does that experience? Can you share a little more on that? How the experience is for all these 51 persons?
Yes. Actually, there's a few. Um, and one in particular was the relationship that I was in. We had just gotten back together, and he literally passed away about a month and a half after his 41st birthday.
Oh, wow.
And what's interesting is when we were together the first time, I was the one who was on the deathbed. And I remember him asking me, was I going to die?
Mm.
And because the doctors had given me a short time to live, but the God of grace in mercy
Amen.
spared my life, and as a result, I walked into my purpose.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he was in the middle of his purpose,
Mm.
and planning to do some great things, and he ran out of time.
Mm.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, he ran out of time. And right 3 weeks before he passed away, the matriarch of one side of my family had passed, and
Mm.
I had not gotten a chance to see her that year.
Wow.
My car had broke down just before the weekend before I was supposed to go back
Mm.
for the family reunion. So I was very upset because I knew she was coming to the end of her days.
Mm.
And I got the call later that morning after she had
Yeah.
passed.
Wow.
And I was still grieving and still hurt.
Mm.
And literally 3 weeks later, he passed.
Wow.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
like the Job experience that Bishop was thinking about, and Joy, you yourself was reading on Job, the life of Job. You were actually going through that reflection. So uh as we would say, you are a today's Job, right? You are
Yes.
living in that Job experience, and it's hard. It's really hard. I'm sure all of us here, we do experience grief, but man, yours hit harder because they're just coming right after. Like one Job with Job,
Mm.
while he was there getting the news about one of his child, then another news came just in that moment. So you have been experiencing, but guess what? You did overcome eventually, but overcoming Joy, you are still going through. Tell us a little about how you're feeling now. How do you feel right now? Because you are preparing to go to a funeral. I guess I think it's virtual or something, but you are preparing to go to a funeral service of a former pastor. What's going on emotionally right now for you, Joy, as we speak?
So yes, actually, yes, I was reading Job. Um, I was reading Job just before because I lost everything 2 months before the transition started. I just lost everything,
Wow.
and
Mm.
I lost everything for doing the right thing. actually. No one had believed me that the job that I had been at was about to close, and God showed it to me, and no one believed me, not even the church that I was at that time. And so as a result of leaving, I lost everything, but God didn't want me in the way when the shutdown came, because the shutdown came and it made world news. So it was all over the country. And so right after that, I'd say within a month and a half, that's when the transitions started. And yes, I had been reading Job, and interesting enough, I was feeling so honored because God chose me
Wow.
for the experience. And I remember just praying and dancing. And then a pastor friend of mine had called, and he said, he said, I see you dancing in the spirit. Are you getting a promotion or something? And and I didn't understand what he meant at the time, but now I get it, because the test always comes before the testimony and the
That's right.
promotion.
Wow. Wow.
Amen.
So you are actually feeling the hurt still, but you have, because you overcame, you can laugh right now. You are free to lift your hands and free to say amen. And that's awesome. Bishop, you wanted to say something just
Yes,
before we
yes,
get
yes.
closed off there.
I'm sure. Yes. And I'm happy to hear her talking, because it does show that healing has begun and healing is taking place. That you're able to talk about it joyfully,
Yes.
as your name, Joy.
Joy. The
Yes.
joy of the Lord is our
Yes.
strength. Yes.
But just maybe for the list and the viewers, for someone who might be going through similar situation, what would be your encouraging word to them at this point?
I would say, as difficult as it might be, remember that every day that you wake up means that you still have a purpose.
Amen.
And for me,
Amen.
that's what I had to hold on to in
Amen.
order to get through, was to remember that I had already received my second chance, like King Hezekiah.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
so hanging on to that purpose and understanding that there is, that I'm here for a purpose and that I still have work to do, that's what kept me going when most people would have just said, I quit. I can't do anymore. Because let's be honest, the death by broken heart is real, because it mimics a heart attack.
Yes.
And it can get to that point if you allow yourself to get to that point. And so my encouraging word is to remember that you still have purpose.
Amen. Awesome. Thank you so much. Joy, we just want to thank you so much. This brings a little enlightening, to me, even as an host, just thinking about it and stuff. So I'm sure that someone out there will, be encouraged just by your testimony today. We just want to thank you again. This is our very special guest for our segment Overcoming, and Joy TJ Riley. We want to thank you so much for being our guest, and hopefully this is just the first interview, Joy, that we have with you, and we will definitely see you again. All right, thank you so much, and God bless you, Joy.
Thank
God
you so
bless
much,
you.
Joy. God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Yes.
Yes, that was really something. Just thinking about what she actually went through, and Bishop, you and I, we have our moments of grief.
Oh yes.
But I mean, just for it to be happening right after,
Yeah,
it's very sad.
that is sad. I mean, that is very
sad.
touching,
Yes.
and she's strong.
Very strong. Yeah.
To be going through all of that and still able to talk and talk passionate about Christ, and
Yes.
that is touching. Believe in me,
Yeah.
I really I really moved by what
Yes.
we have heard, this her
And
story.
that's very important. That's very important that even in the midst of it, she hung on to God because she realized
Yes.
that God is the only one that brings
Hmm.
hope, and that
Yes.
she still has her joy in, because the joy of the Lord
Of
is
the
her
Lord.
strength. We
Yes.
just
Yes.
want to say thank you so much to our
Mhm.
viewers for joining us for this
Yeah.
segment,
Yes.
Overcoming. We want to thank you again. Thank you so much to my co-host, Bishop Dr.
Mhm.
Everell Ainsley. At this time, we just want to say God bless you, and we
Yes.
will catch you on our next segment coming up. And the next segment is very exciting. Again, this is From All Angles.
Angles.
Can be aired on Lit TV right here on Lit TV Network every Saturday at
At
7
7
p.m.
p.m.
You can
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, and you can watch us via the Roku TV or the Roku device. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.